All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Dynasty Podcast. We are joined by our best buddy, Argo fucking J Brown, and it's me and Ben again here kicking it. We are 2 hours deep into our podcast for the day already. We're going to get through these next two divisions in an hour and a half. So rapid fire time because we all got shit to do. Glad to have Argo J Brown here, Mr. Roman Waza, looking French as shit as always, and a little hungover. I'm not gonna lie, you look a little hungover today. What happened last night? Something you get busy last night, Roman? What happened? I can tell that
No,
face that face has been up
no,
up a little
no,
late and slept in a
no,
little.
no. I got sun in my eyes. No, I'm not drinking. I've been off the booze for a month and a half now.
So a bunch of cocaine then? No? Okay, whatever it was. Maybe just a
No, no,
late night friend visit. Something.
You look
no,
great,
no.
Corey. I don't know Roman. I don't know what Corey's talking about.
All right.
No, maybe I took
Just
a
trying to
little
make
nap,
some
so maybe
cheap
I don't know.
digs.
Oh, you took a nap? Oh, maybe that's what. It
Yeah,
was. You look
maybe.
sleepy. You look sleepy.
Could be.
All right. Listen, real quick, you got 2 minutes, Roman. Just want to hear your recap of last night's game to start this off, and then we're going to jump into the Ivy League. 2 minutes.
Well, unlike you guys, I didn't see it coming. I thought the Rams would be able to have a game, and well, they've been outmatched pretty much everywhere, offense, defense. So the Bills made them look really bad. I think it's one game, week one. First, have to be patient. We'll see what happens on Sunday. On a personal level, it was pretty rough night because I was going against Diggs and Cup in few leagues, and I didn't really have a lot going for me except Cook. Which, as everyone saw, did have a great start. Well, he had a better start than Akers.
I would agree with that.
So we'll see. Hopefully they give him an opportunity next week to overcome time to get back on track. We'll see. Yeah,
Well,
it was kind of rough.
He had a better start than everybody on the Rams offense not named Cooper Kupp, I think, if you want to be honest.
Yeah, it was just crazy. How Cup got 35 points without and the Rams scoring 10 points. It has to be. I mean, there aren't many receivers scoring 35 points when their team scores 10 points or less, I think. But
it's just he's a fucking machine. I mean, it's unbelievable. As he stays healthy, he's going to have another year like he did last year.
Oh yeah, we will.
Happy that I got pick 6 in our Yahoo draft. All right, we're gonna jump in. I got the Mighty Orphans, our buddy Bauer here, to start the analysis. What a picture here! That's a great picture, Jason. I like that. Here we go. Can everybody see the screen? Good to go. Rocking and rolling here. The one comment that I will make about Jason, and this is just a general comment. He's got to open up a bit. He's got to figure out where he's gonna make some moves. You can't play scared in this league. I think he can be conservative, but I don't think you're gonna get anywhere by not making moves and doing things and interacting with other owners. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive, or his opportunities might pass him by. I think he had a solid team to start with. And I just haven't seen necessarily where he's gotten a lot better. But we'll see. I think he's going to have every shot to compete in this division. And so anyway, just my overall take on Jason. He is hard to get a deal done with, even if you're throwing him out some positive opportunities. All right. So Atlanta quarterback, 5 years remaining on that. It's going to be young. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. Ritter looked like he had some potential. We'll see. They're going to, I think Mariota could have a better year than people are expecting. I don't think he's a bum. But whatever. We're not going to talk about it too much. He's in a world of hurt at the running back position, it would say, at this point, depending on your outlook of Trey Sermon landing in Philadelphia. That appears to be a bust at 105. The other concern is Spiller at 110 hasn't been exactly a great start for him in spring training and where he's at on the depth chart. Tyrion David Price, kind of same story there, like 123. He's got 3 first-round picks that are not playing as of yet, or even second in line to play. So that's a little bit scary for me. But that's the game we play. Running backs and then drafting them high can be dangerous, and some people have moved along from that strategy. Anybody got any takes on that? He could have been in a lot better position. I actually like Damian Williams. I don't think he was a bad auction pickup for $81. I think he has every opportunity to get as many snaps as anybody else in that backfield, not named Cordell Patterson, if they continue to use him that way. So
Yeah, Bauer's gotten lucky, unlucky. I mean, he tried to handcuff Sermon by getting Terrier's price, and then Sermon got cut. But then Sermon gets picked up by a team with more opportunity for him, in my opinion. Ramon
I
can
agree.
obviously chime in on that. So now he's got 2 potential running backs, probably tough for this year, but there's capital spent on them and talent. So we'll see how that works out. And then it's like, oh, okay with that. And Spiller, like, this could be a problem next few years. And now Spiller, I mean, I don't know. He's in the doghouse or something. I don't know. Maybe long term again, he'll rise to the top, but it's not a good start.
I wouldn't shit on Spiller quite yet, but you would have liked to see him someone in the top 10 pick get ample opportunities in the first 4 weeks of the season. So we'll see.
And not be 4th on the depth chart.
I was actually surprised. Yeah, exactly. I was surprised Tyler Goodson didn't get that he got waived by the Packers. To be honest with you, I thought he had a good preseason, and I like that pick. And Blackshear, kind of the same thing, but he's got some youth. He needs some turnaround there. So enough said there. His wide receiving core is solid, I think. With DJ Moore going to have, I think, a career year with Baker there. Obviously, he's looking to have more touchdowns and be more productive there in the red zone. Rondale Moore, by all accounts, was ascending until his injury late in the preseason. I think it was like 2 days ago, which kind of sucks because I was excited to see how they used him in that role this year, and especially with Hopkins gone and the dude moving on to Jacksonville. What was the guy's name? The guy that didn't re-sign with him. Jacksonville's number 1. Off to a lightning start here. Are you guys listening to me? No.
I am.
Who did Jacksonville sign from?
Carolina, you mean?
No, he's in Jacksonville. Fucking A, the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville. They paid him a shitload
Kirk?
of
Christian Kirk?
Christian Kirk. That's what I was looking for. For Christ's sakes, not doing my
Jesus,
job very
Lord.
good here.
Get another coffee.
Yeah, Christian Kirk role. So I was excited to see Rondale Moore in that role and see what he did. We'll have to wait a few weeks, it sounds like, for him to recover from a hammy injury. Other than that, not extreme depth here. He's got Kyle Phillips to see where he's at. Reports were positive out of him in camp. Maybe score some points there. He's got Eskridge that needs to elevate himself, another first round pick that didn't show much last year. So couple of good stars, young players, but not a lot of depth and somewhat limited upside, I would say. I like.
It's just still early. It's just still early for a lot of those wide receivers. They're not where you would hope to be, but it doesn't mean they're not going to be. Obviously, in this league, you got to decide to extend them. So he's got to hope by the end of the year, guys like Eskridge and Anthony Schwartz and some of these show something. Otherwise, you're extending a guy that might not even make the team next year. So I hate being in those positions, but he'll know probably by the end of the year how he feels about this team a lot more.
Absolutely. Tight ends, I think he's got 2 solid ones with Fant and Alberto. I think he got lucky with the Fant getting traded. That gives him 2 solid tight ends. Both of them are borderline 12 to 16 area tight ends this year, maybe. So I would say there's some upside there, depending on what happens with the Seattle quarterback situation. And obviously Alberto is supposed to have a good season, but Dulcich has come on strong too in Denver. So who knows? Well, a lot
He's
of
on the
ability.
IR.
Oh, did he get sent down? Okay. So Albert O is going to have every opportunity to perform this year. We'll see if he can ascend as well. Now, defense is where our boy JB is pretty strong. Defensive tackles, got 3 of them. Ben, feel free to give me some thoughts on the defensive tackles.
Grady Jarrett's a monster, and that's pretty much all he has to worry about. The other 2 guys are good too. They'll rotate in. Plenty of
Love the Hutchinson.
set it and forget it with Grady Jarrett, more than likely.
Love the Hutchinson pick on defense at
Yeah.
122. He appears to be the guy that everybody thought he was and is going to have a solid season. Mohammed should get some tick in Chicago and a rotational DN. So not a bad auction pick there in 2021. So it was a 2-year contract. Huh, interesting. And then I'm not aware of the other 2 guys. Ben, do you know how do you feel about Reed and Ward?
Jaron Reed starts, I think, he's a tackle though, which is weird. It's another weird spot. Jaron Reed's definitely a D tackle. I think he starts next to Kenny Clark. I could be wrong. Either that, he's the next guy up. He can get to the quarterback. He was high pedigree when he came out. He was in Seattle. He's done okay. So he could do worse. I mean, he's on the team. He's going to rotate there.
And then linebacker. I mean, he's got a fucking shitload of studs at the linebacker position with upside. Obviously, the strategy was taking 3 of those guys in the same draft class at 23, 24, and 17. Parsons was an absolute fucking hit. Owusu seems to be a hit as well. And then Collins was probably the one that maybe was slightly disappointed in year 1, but hopefully he'll take a leap forward this year. And then he's got Zadarius Smith and Cody Barton as well. So he's set at linebacker. Arguably, other than who was it we reviewed? Mandy, I think, was the other one that's super strong at linebacker. You'd love to have those young talents mixed in with some vets there. Maybe have to think about moving one. I don't know. What do you think about?
He won't do it. I've tried.
Yeah.
The thing is, he likes having 5. I think these are 5 guaranteed starters. So I hate rosters that just I like having okay starter depth pieces, but I guess you could say Zadarius Smith, because he's a linebacker, is gonna not produce as much as these other guys. But I don't know. I mean, you could argue that Zaven Collins, we don't know what they're doing with their fucking usage. We never do. Arizona's just mind fucking on how they use their talent. It's terrible, to be totally honest. So we saw it with Simmons, and we see it now with Collins, and they're just like, oh, we don't want to use. It's like, why are you drafting guys this high if you don't fucking start them? So, but he should be good. I mean, they don't have a lot of other stuff there, but he paid for Barton because he wanted to have that 5th guy, which, look, injuries happen a lot, especially at the linebacker position. So Bauer, with buys and everything, can pretty much guarantee he's going to start 4 linebackers that are going to scare you all year.
Absolutely. Some studs. He's going to have some work to do from a budget standpoint in a couple years. That's going to be expensive. Kind of, right? If you extend.
No, none of them are. None of them are. They're extendable. You're 30, 30, 30. That's cheap. Barton, you can probably transition tag if he wants to, but
Parsons going to be expensive, right?
No, he's on a rookie deal.
So you can't, just so I'm clear, you can't get held out as a rookie?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow. Okay.
So he can't get held out this year, and then next year he'll extend them, and you can't be held out in the first year of an extension.
First 2 years.
So he's got
first 2 years.
First 2 years, excuse me.
I mean, usually it depends on how many years of extension you give to your player. So if you give him a 5 years contract, first 2 years, he cannot hold out. If you only give him, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 years, then he can hold out after the first year.
That makes sense. Okay. Keeping up with the tradition, he's got 4 playable guys at cornerback. Not going to talk about it. He's got three studs, in my opinion, or not studs, but 3 really good safeties in Bell, Harmon, and Curse. And then he picked up Polomao, who I was actually was on my waiver wire as well. With them getting rid of Gillespie, he might have an opportunity on the back end if someone gets hurt. And I don't know who PJ Locke is, to be perfectly honest with you. But
Yeah, Darren Harmon actually didn't win a starting job there, but he'll rotate to probably 60% snaps. But he didn't secure either the starting spots there. So we'll see how that works out.
He also had Patrick on the injury reserve, so that was a tough break.
Yeah,
to
it's a
start
tough
the season.
break.
That would have gave him a lot more depth at wide receiver. So I think Jason's in a good position. I think he maybe is a little bit too worried about where draft capital is and needs to get a little bit more aggressive, as I said, as far as moving some pieces around. But he's got a solid team. He's going to score some points, and I think he's going to compete every week. It's just going to really come down to what kind of points he gets out of his reserve running backs and wide receivers, because his defense is pretty solid.
I think if his defense can carry him for 5 weeks, he'll know a lot more about the status of his team in the wide receiver and the running back department. I think it's just a lot of backups with a lot of uncertainty, and he needs some of his cream to rise to the crop.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting 70 to 80 points on a minimum between your special teams and your defense ends and your linebackers, I think you're light years ahead of where a lot of people are. So I think that has to be considered for sure. All right, that was snappy. That's how we want to do it.
Roman, you got any comments on Bauer's roster?
Yes. I think he holds on to his players too much. He needs to be more proactive. He needs to take more chances and check things up. Yeah, it's too much waiting and you can tell, like Corey said, I agree with him. He got a pretty good team to start with, and I don't see that team much better than he was almost a year ago. So yes, he got unlucky with a couple of with his running back picks, but still, I think he would have done a better job with the rest of the roster as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, you see that with a lot of the new guys. Remember, he took this over post draft and maybe even post auction. I can't remember. Post draft for sure. So he didn't even get a full. Yeah, he didn't get a full cycle till this year, and some people just kind of need to go through that adjustment of overvaluing your draft capital and your guys. And also, I think he's just afraid of making a mistake on a trade that would cost him long term, which you just got to be ready for mistakes. Like, you got to, if you don't trade, it's hard to improve in this league, especially like you're going to have to make moves once things start going bad. Right. So.
Yeah. And also there is one more thing I would like to say. I don't know if you guys mentioned it before, but I see he has like 7 running backs roster and 3, 6, and 9 receiver. And I think it's way too many, in my opinion. That's why if you look at his defense, I would agree with you that he has a couple of good starters, but if those guys go down, he has no one deep behind. So, and the reason is because he has too many receiver. You can only start 4, right? Or 3, 4.
4.
So I think 9 receivers is way too much. And 7 running backs when you can only start 3, considering he's going to start 4 receiver. That's too many. So instead of having a good young linebacker, well, he doesn't need a linebacker, but maybe safety. I think it's pretty behind Curse and where's the other one? The other safety, I'm sorry.
Bell.
Yeah, behind Curse and Bell, it's like Armon, I think, is like 32 or 33 years old. I don't know how many snaps he's gonna play. I mean, you have the bye week coming. I don't know.
I think a problem in rebuilding strategies too is just like you draft so many guys and you have to wait them out, and he's taking everyone off his taxi squad so they don't get stolen, right? So that's the problem. He's not stashing any guys and waiting long term because he's afraid to lose them. where like Dwayne Estridge never should have came off his taxi squad ever.
Yeah.
Because he's 2 first rounders to take him, and nobody's going to take him unless he's the next. But he's behind Metcalf and like, so he's made activations on his roster that were completely unnecessary. That's kept him from roster spots and more storing for the long term. And you can't drop these guys. You just can't. And then if you trade
Yeah.
them, they're not worth. They don't have value. So I understand why he has this many, because nobody's going to pay for Trey Sermon. Nobody's going to pay for Estridge. So you just got to ride it out and hope for the best. You know. That's
Yeah, but I mean, when
unfortunate.
you have a guy, for instance, like Patrick Taylor, I mean, it should be cut. I mean, it's a roster spot. You can have a guy that's going to be more useful for your team. He's not going to start him anyway.
You got to cut dead weight before it becomes fucking, toxic, really. Like, the body eating flesh starts poisoning the rest of your team, right? Like you can't hold on for dear life forever. And you are going to make mistakes. I think everybody will admit that they have. But this is, I think, kind of common with even a lot of the rookies that have joined this last year, right? They haven't been super active. They've made their moves and they're kind of being cautious, which is fine. But you're not going to get ahead of the pack by just sitting and waiting and learning. You kind of got to learn by doing and having a clear plan in mind and deciding what you're going to do and enacting that plan. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and also with the new rule, I can understand that we all have in our rosters a couple of free agents, like guys who've been stashed on practice squad, and we have some hope that at some point during the season they might gonna start or for our team or be relevant in our lineup. But like the perfect example is like Taylor. I mean, even though he will be rostered, would you start him? No, you wouldn't. And if you do, he's going to score 3-4 points. So what's the point of roster him when you can, pick up a rookie linebacker or rookie receiver, as a few got picked up this week and the waiver wire. I don't know. So if I had one advice to give to him, I would say be a little bit more proactive with your roster and don't waste roster spot on guys that never gonna make it.
Crack yourself about 12 beers, Bauer, and just go have some fun. Throw some wild and crazy offers out there.
My trade box is open, son.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, baby. It doesn't have to be with any of the Dynasty brothers or your boy Roman, but like get in there and start engaging. Engage.
Well, to be fair, he's been trading with you. He's not been trading with me.
He sent me one player for free.
Yeah, well,
that was it. So
I would have taken that one.
We almost had a deal for Herbert for Isaiah Spiller, and I was gonna take some of his cap on, and he was interested.
I can't believe he didn't do that.
But that's the perfect example of you're getting a guy that could be the starting running back in Chicago that has already.
He's closer to a starting running back job than fucking Spiller is.
Right. But you're holding on to hope that draft capital at 110 is going to turn into something magical when Herbert's already proven.
For the record, Corey, I told him to do that trade,
and I was nervous about it. It's not like, to me that was like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like I'm taking a big gamble in here, and I'm willing to take that gamble because like I hit, but at the same time, like those are the type of deals that, yeah, okay, maybe in your friend's Yahoo league it doesn't make a lot of sense, but these are dynasty leagues, and you got to see the trends and where they're at and time value of money kind of shit. So
yeah,
Corey, I think our first player took 20 minutes. We better move our asses.
I know. I was trying to move on,
here.
and then we turned it over to Roman. Which I'm glad that we have him on, but now we're on some different tangents and talking about what we do.
And Corey, I would like to put you on record. And so we all saw what happened to Cook last night, and our own Cook. So, and we just made a trade where I acquired him from you. I would like to hear what you have to say about what happened last night and how do you see the first couple of weeks for him moving forward.
For James Cook?
In all honesty, yes, please.
So arguably, I was not that high on Cook when I drafted him. Like, it seemed like the best value at that time, as opposed to taking, I think it was like Watson or Sky Moore or something like that, and I needed running back more, and that was my strategy. So I was actively marketing Cook most of the offseason, and then when I kind of watched how things were developing in Buffalo, I was getting a little bit more aggressive because I just didn't really think that I was looking for a wide receiver. I always build my team through wide receiver. I already had Brian Robinson, who was ascending, and I had Brees Hall, who I still believe in, right? So I was ready to move Cook. Um, the fumble, I wouldn't be too overly concerned with it. They brought him in for a reason, and he's an explosive, third down kind of scat back. I don't think he's ever going to be a full workhorse or anything like that. I didn't think the hit was anything to cause a fumble. He's going to get hit like that a lot, and I think so he's got to learn that. But then Moss fumbled right away too, so I wouldn't be, if I was a Cook owner, I wouldn't be completely devastated, but I think that his name has kind of driven his draft capital up a little bit, and I would prefer to have Zamir White long term to James Cook.
Okay. And how do you see him, his production in the next 3-4 weeks?
Boy, I think they'll start sprinkling him in depending on where they're at in the game script, and probably try to get him some more relevance. I don't think Singletary did anything to lose his job, so I think he's kind of solidified that, and then he's going to have to compete with Moss to figure out where he's going to get touches. But I think they have a plan to how to use him in an explosive offense and how they are scheming against different teams and things. And he's too good of an athlete not to be utilized. So, maybe he gets reverted to special teams and kickoff return for a while or something and get some touches that way. So I think he's going to be fine. Whether or not he ever returns, 1.9 value, I don't know. But he's on an explosive offense, one of the best offenses in the leagues. He's an explosive player, and I'm sure he's going to be just fine. So
Fair enough.
If you're asking me, I would rather have Ramondre Stevenson straight up for James Cook long term.
Okay. Did Moss fumble last night?
He did, yeah.
He did,
Okay.
yeah, in the third quarter.
I think.
So Roman, I'm happy that we made that deal, but we were trying to make that deal a while ago. It was just something else was holding us up. So I wasn't, rooting against the fact that he fumbled. I didn't really want any Cook shares, and I was happy to move on from him anyway. So
I mean, when you pick a guy that high, you don't want him to fumble on the first carry and spend the rest of the game on the bench. That's it seems pretty obvious. Yeah, same thing happened to Sermon last year, and who know what happened.
I think I would be a little bit more concerned, and I'll say the same thing for Brees Hall, right? Like, I would be more concerned that he didn't come in or see a touch until the third or fourth drive, right? Like that means that means that either the coach is kind of old school and wants to make him earn it, or it's just like he's not quite ready. And they moved the ball. They were passing a shit ton, so you would have thought that they had at least 3 or 4 plays, not a handoff on the first play that was going to get him kind of involved in like a quick screen or something. And you didn't see any of that. So it would have been interesting to see what the rest of the game script had for him. But my first reaction, even before he has fumbled, is he hasn't played yet. And so that would be my first takeaway on that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Next team, please.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna fire through this. I'm gonna let Roman start off with bad boys. Just give me some of your first opinions on offense, and then we're going to try to get through this one in 5 minutes.
Quickly, Roman. Don't overanalyze.
Yeah, great team overall. Depths everywhere. I lost a lot of players at the receiver position this year because I think he had Evans before and he had Hopkins as well, if I remember correctly. But we know Warren, solid owner. He plays the waiver wire pretty hard, and he always pick up guys I'm going after as well. So I know he's doing his research, and he has a solid starting lineup. I don't see any big holes, so he's probably going to contend for that division, probably top 3.
Yeah, he has an explosive quarterback that can, change a week at any point. I think actually Murray is going to have a better season than people are expecting him just because of the offseason news and some of that weird contract shit. He's got a stud in Connor, more than likely. Gordon's yet to kind of be seen how his role is, whether he's 60-40 or 70-30 split. We'll see. But if there's any sort of injuries there and he's next in line, that could be good. Kennedy Brooks, free agent, surprised by that, to be perfectly honest with you. Darrell Williams looks to be 3rd or 4th on the depth chart, which was kind of surprising. strong wide receiver room. Velus Jones is going to get every opportunity to play in Chicago. He's got studs in Deontay Johnson. Nico Collins seems to be ascending. Westbrook is either 2 or 3 in Tennessee, so he's got some depth there. Like his tight ends, as far as the upside with Logan Thomas coming back and Jonnu Smith, needs to have a better year than he did last year, but at least a decent 1-2 punch there. Who gives a shit about the kicker and punter? Although I probably should, because I didn't get any points for my Buffalo pointer and had to let go of the rapist. Ben, why don't you take it away on the defense and rapid fire here?
He's got Hubbard and Crosby as a base, which is fucking brutally good. So his DNs are deep. And then at linebacker, he's got dudes. I mean, Josie Jewell is going to be real deal this year. He's the middle linebacker. We've always kind of wanted to figure out who the fuck it was going to be in Denver. And then they kind of signed Schobert, so we weren't sure, but Schobert got cut like right away. And it's Josie Jewell. He's going to be really, really good. He might be 130 tackle, 150 tackle guy.
Iowa boy. Same as Nick.
Yep. And so between him and Barrett, that's like the base. Warner's getting up in the depth charts. He's going to get a lot of runs. So his linebackers are fine. Yeah, Cameron McGrone, man, he's on the practice squad, whatever. He ain't ready. He came back from a fucking huge surgery and he's basically a rookie. So, and then, the rest of again, like Roman said, like you got pretty balanced there. Quandre Diggs on the safeties and Jackson. I mean,
Eddie Jackson.
Fine. Yeah, he's going to be fine. Good. I mean, and look at that. I mean, he lost Harold Landry at linebacker. So he lost a top linebacker and linebacker room still doesn't look that bad, so.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Allen Lazard is doubtful for Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that. Saw.
Look out for Romeo Dobbs on Sala Paradiso being injected into the starting lineup.
Sammy!
Yeah. And Drake London is a game time decision.
Ooh, that's not good.
Wayne's gonna fucking smash me this week. I'd said it.
Hey, I want to make this point. Listen, I've had back and forth with Warren now for 3 years. He is by far the worst trader in all the leagues that I play with anybody in. Absolutely.
Trade offer. Can't say he's the worst trader.
Yes, trader. Not
People accept his trades.
By far the worst offers I have ever received in this league, or any other league for that matter, come out of Warren. So feel free, sir, to come on the podcast and dispute that claim, and we can analyze any of the transactions that have happened over the last 2 years. So anyway, not
I'll chime into this real quick without
I'll welcome the discussion, and then we can leave it up for the audience. But by far, in my opinion, the worst trader in the league.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get that beaten up on it, but I will say this: he did do something in the last trade that he offered me that I cannot stand more than anything in trading or anyone offering me trade. If you offer me a trade for guys I don't need, taking guys I need, like you didn't look at my roster or analyze my roster. So he wanted my 2 best linebackers to give me 2 DNs. We just did my roster, Corey. I don't have linebackers to give. And I have 3 DNs. So why even send me a fucking deal like that? What it tells me is you're just being lazy. You're being lazy and not looking at my roster, and you're not even trying to make a deal. You're just trying to or maybe he's throwing it out there, but I just think that's fucking insane. What's that for?
That's fantasy trading 101, right? It's like trying
to the hands like Josh Sweat, for example, available?
Josh Sweat, Chandler Jones, and JJ Watt, my son.
Oh, sexy.
Not a
Anyways, that's all I'll say. Everyone should analyze a fucking roster before you make an offer. If you're
I
not
agree with that
roster in any way, shape, or form, or taking the only players they can start in that position, nobody's going to say yes.
And also try to make the numbers work, like not sending.
Yeah, lopsided cap is the other pet peeve. It's like,
someone cannot take it. I mean, it happened to me a couple of times. Maybe sometimes you do it in a hurry and you don't check the numbers exactly, but got to be very careful with that.
All right, are we moving on from Warren? Bad boys. I think
Let's
we
go.
all admit that he has a top half team in the division. He's a great GM. He's put together.
Well,
Strong
I would
team.
say in the league. In the league.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Right.
and in the league. Wow, okay. I'm not going to go that far, but yeah, I think
good.
he's a solid GM across multiple leagues. Just a horrible trade partner.
You just don't like his trades.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of what we do, and the interactions have been actually better with Warren. I enjoy interacting with him more. It's always funny, at least. All right, you know what? Let's bounce around a little bit, Ben. Why don't you take the lead on the Riv? Does that sound okay?
We'll do Baltimore. Just that's my first of the top
Okay,
four. Then we're not
let's
getting
keep it.
Florida.
Let's keep it
Yeah.
real here with the Baltimore man. That was a much better speed there, boys.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, yeah. So he's got Roman's favorite date, J.K. Dobbins, on that team, which is gonna be a big explanation of how this ends up for this poor guy, because the rest of his running backs are pretty dire straits, right? Like it's not. I mean, he's gonna need Kyle Juszczyk to get those 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dobbins ain't starting week 1. I don't think it's.
No, I know
don't
he's hurt.
I don't think he's
hurt,
gonna play.
yeah.
I don't
I don't
so
think he
either.
will this week either. So this week, aside for the long outlook that it's a good contract, a talented player, he's just got to stay healthy. The running back room is really
Puka.
pretty-
It's very Puka.
pretty tough. I'm not talking Puka. He doesn't have a team. All right, then I don't know, kind of like what happened on Jason. He's got a lot of wide receivers that probably don't need to be on his roster. But some guys can go with some upside, this and that, the Josh Gordons and the Juwan Winfreys, et cetera. But he's got CeeDee Lamb, which is a good good base, right? And then he's gonna need Wandale Robinson to be good, but I think he's going to be pretty good. It's just when that happens, I don't know early. If he can rely on that. And like I said, it looks like a lot of things in his roster are going to be tough early. And so the question is he competing this year? I'm going to say, even without the rest of the review of the roster, I don't think so. I think he's just going to flat out not have a fast enough start to be able to overcome when his guys finally start coming along.
How about make it to the fucking draft on time? 107, we got Wandale Robinson flying off the board. That was a mistake.
Well, that was pretty brutal, obviously, right? Missing that pick was, I mean, who knows? Maybe
I
he
know.
would've got
I
cut.
hope everything's good, Brian and Uncle Nick. We love you.
But like again, he's got a lot of FAs on there, man. It's a tough spot. Maybe they'll pick up, but tight end's okay. He's gonna have to start both Ertz and Rudolph. So luckily the Rudolph got a new change of scenery, and that's gonna work out because
Don't sleep on Juwan Johnson. Don't sleep on Juwan Johnson.
Fair enough, but I just don't see a lot of flex appeal on the other two, so it's tough. And then he's got good DNs, so Granderson and Jones are going to do their thing. I don't know. Brandon Graham, is he going to get rotation? Roman, is he on his way out? What's Graham's outlook?
He's gonna start.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
they
so.
probably. For now is a starter, and Barnett's gonna rotate, and I think
Okay.
Sweat's gonna be the starter on the other side.
All right. That's kind of what I thought. So then he's got some good linebackers as well. Daniil Hunter as a D end is actually wouldn't help him because he needs more linebacker than he does that. But
look out for Nick
I think
Bolton this year, FYI. I think he can.
Nick Bolton's going to be good. Dre
best second-year
Greenlaw's
player.
got his job back, and Jonas Griffin is healthy, and I think he's going to play. He's going to be good as well. Daniil's going to be fine, and Micah McFadden, I'm going on record right now that will be starting middle linebacker for the New York Giants by week 8.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you talk about that a couple of months ago.
They cut Blake Martinez, man. Like
Unbelievable.
their Trey Crowder isn't good. So like a second Trey Carter starts fucking giving up shit left and right. The next guy up is McFadden. So his linebacking room is stupid and it's all cheap. Except for Daniil, but Daniil, it's his last year he has with Daniil. If Daniil was a, DN, that price is great, but at linebacker it's tough.
Boy,
Are
I bring up Tyron too.
Are you confident starting Daniel Hunter this year, Ben? Wherever you own him?
And and some I have to, but the problem is the linebacker. It's just He's gonna rush the passer the whole fucking time, man. Like he should be at the end. Fuck MFL. Like his value is as a D end. He would be in a top. He has a potential for a top 5 fucking D end, but at linebacker, it's like, all right. So we'll see. I am starting him in some leagues. He's just gonna be good, but he's not gonna be elite at linebacker.
So Baltimore BDs has some work to do on offense. He's got a pretty strong defense, probably middle of the road team. Is that what we're saying in the division?
Yeah, he's probably, I don't know. Again, I just can't see him competing with some of the offensive uncertainty. But if some things kind of go his way offensively, he could be sneaking into that top 4, but I'm going to put him in the bottom 4 for now.
All right, moving on to the Riv. He's been awful quiet lately.
Yeah, he's not telling nobody to go spit, and maybe, who knows? Maybe he's also Georgia and the Riv may be the same person, and all that was just like real dialect. But he hasn't been on and been active because he's got a lot of those IR spots. I think we had a guy earlier that we saw. So when you see that, then you're missing, like you'll see without having any zeros, he's missing a lot of waiver wire, and he's got a lot of spots. So he should not be missing waiver wires with cap. Exactly. So that's just, when people just aren't paying attention in these last weeks, they became way more important than I remember as far as waivers went. But he's got McKissick, who's going to be pretty elite first 4 weeks, I think, just based on the position, and Javonte Williams. So he's fine there. Gus Edwards comes back in 4 weeks. He'll probably be back into the mix, provided that he's healthy. DeAndre Hopkins, not having him for 6 games is going to be a problem in this league, right? Especially when you see his depth. Who is he starting? The answer is kind of nobody. You got Juju, Poop Schuster, and praying to God that Sterling Shepard gets back in that rotation, but he's been hurt too. So this wide receiver room is bad.
I think Juju's a legit wide receiver this year. I think
for
it's
6. Okay, that's fine. I am not
game
that
to
high
game, but I don't think he's.
I don't know where he's scoring points for the first 6 weeks, man.
Yeah.
He's starting 2 FAs or 1 FA. Is Tajay Sharp getting run for you guys?
Maybe. No, he's injured too.
Okay, he's hurt too. So now he has 2 wide receivers, one in Shepard, who might not play this week and will slowly be introduced. That's a problem. Taking 2 to 3 zeros on a wide receiver position or 2 zeros, it's going to be tough. It's not, again, going back to these other slots
too. So some of these guys are, it's
well, the only so his flex is going to be Mo Alley Cox and Trotman. Oof, good luck with that. Okay.
Here's a thought. Let's not take too much time on his team because it doesn't look like he's putting too much time into it. How about that?
We're not taking much time. I don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you shut the fuck up and let me finish?
All right.
All right. Move on to his defense. Why don't we move down to his defense? So his defense isn't a whole lot better, okay? And again, look at this depth even at linebacker. He's got Thibodeau, who's going to be slowly coming back. I think he might be taking it 0 there also. This might be the worst team in this division. And I'm just going to flat out have to say, and then he's got Eric Murray and Petre, who are the 2 starters at Houston, but I don't know who he's starting in bye weeks, or if one of those guys get hurt, that's going to be a problem. And he's got way too many fucking cornerbacks for my taste. You want to talk about rostering too much in one position when you have clear starters at, I don't know why you're stacking it there, but it's pretty dire, and he hasn't been active recently. And I'm going to go on record saying that, Riv, you are the bottom of this division. I'm sorry.
You're on notice, Riv.
Yeah. So go spit.
Go spit and be more active in the waivers. Could have saved a lot of those holes. Not really at wide receiver.
Well, he joined the league this year. Maybe he's got I know I'm not going to do all that great attitude and blah blah blah. It is what it is. But
it's not the same Riv as it used to be.
Well, it's a new owner, whoever it is, that is not what picked up an orphan team.
But it's the Riv. It's the original Riv, right, Roman?
That's fair enough, but whoever it is picked up an orphan team this year.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Well, the Riv started this league. So if I don't think he picked up an orphan team.
But I thought that was the joke. Is someone was saying, "Oh, is this the same Riv?"
No, I don't.
Maybe he picked. I don't know.
I don't think it's the same.
You don't think it's the same Riv?
No.
I thought I saw him say "go spit."
This was definitely an orphan team.
But I
Yes, he
think the
was.
Riv quit and came back.
That could be it, but I'm just telling you, it's an orphan team, so maybe he saw the team that
That's
he
why it's
inherited,
shit.
and it's
Fair
like
enough.
shitty. I'm not that invested, whatever. But
There's
I
no
don't
way
know.
you call yourself the Riv and you're a different guy.
It could be
I'm just telling you
someone.
that right
Who
now.
knows? It could be Georgia. Maybe Georgia has 3 teams.
Georgia
and it's
knows
like,
this. We'll wait. We get Georgia on.
Can we get Riv on the
Sometime.
air at least to fucking wake him up from his dormant sleep? All right, moving on. We're gonna do another one from your side of the fence, or should I do Sin City? It's up to you guys.
I don't care.
I'll do Sin City. Fuck it. Georgia's cousin. See, now we're starting to put all this fucking shit together. Georgia owns half the fucking teams in this league. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Colts quarterback. Okay, upgrade from last year. Good. Nick Chubb, stud. Etienne, stud. Burkhead going to get some ticks. So he's got 3 serviceable running backs. Not a lot of depth. If somebody goes down, that could be a problem. Love Bateman this year. Edwards is going to be the number 2, I think, in Atlanta. Jerry Jeudy is going to have a career year. And then he's got Jalen Waddle. I like his receiving room. He's got young, talented players, going to be good for a long time, and serviceable guys. Not to mention he has Kyle Pitts, who is basically a wide receiver. I think Kyle Pitts is going to, as Ben would like to say, face fuck the league this year. Super bullish on him. Look out for like a 1,300, 10 touchdown fucking monster fucking year from Kyle Pitts. I would try to acquire him as much as possible if I could, but I can't. I like his offense. Straightforward. Not a lot of depth at running back. He's got star power everywhere, and he's got depth and stud at wide receiver and Kyle Pitts. So really great start for Sin City. But he's had a lot of draft capital, and that's awesome. I mean, I wish I would have had that draft capital. Defensive tackle. Well, he's got a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, DJ Reader has said it and forget it. He's a fucking beast. He should cut like 3 of those fucking guys. It's nonsense to have that many D tackles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you take the DNs too? Because I'm not.
Yeah, he's got it best. Like I think Roy Robertson Harris will be good, but like a lot of these guys are rotational guys. 2 of them are on IR. Because they're basically rotational guys who aren't even going to get run, right? So it's bad. Farrell Klein might be able to get some good points. Shelby Harris, let's see
maybe Shelby Harris, yeah.
Maybe it's so.
Improvement at linebacker though. He's got Bynes, Clayson, Kirksey, and Mack. Those are the
and
4,
Wilson.
And Damian Wilson. So maybe he's got 4 to 5 good linebackers there, so
But he's got solid. 3 FAs in there too, so it's not as deep as it looks.
No, a lot of defensive tackles though, so that's good. Mm-hmm. Cornerbacks, he's got 2 free agents, and then two cornerbacks, so not super deep there. And then the safety room, he's got Donovan Wilson, Chuck Clark, and Julian Blackman, all 3 serviceable starters. So he's solid, not extremely deep anywhere, at any position except for defensive tackle, in my opinion.
Again, another team that if they play the waiver, these last 2-3 waiver wires would be so much better. Does he have any money? Yeah, but also he's got guys on IR that he could, it's just there's going to be there's too many roster spots there up for grabs. He should have.
What the fuck are we doing, man? What the fuck are we doing? This is like the 4th team that has 6 or 7 IR spots. Like I thought this was a fucking pro league.
I really don't understand that.
I don't either.
I really don't.
What are we doing?
Because especially now with a new rule that it's for 4 weeks. So during those 4 weeks, you can really take advantage of pick up a guy, And you never know, maybe the guy you're going to pick up is going to be better than a guy who was on IR and is coming back in 4 weeks, So
and there's legit starters that got picked up these last 3 weeks all over the field.
Like
even
at wide receiver,
All right, next guy.
All right, that was a good one. I like that. Okay, overall, I think he has an opportunity to be top half of the division, though, because his offense is so strong. He's got some star power, but Jesus Christ, I think he could probably put a little bit more effort in there, Sin City. You want to be a leader in the clubhouse.
Come on, Sin.
Now let's look at a manager that we know is going to have everything in order without even looking at his team, Mr. Mike Sorgan. Wish we could get him back on the pod for a sober one because, gosh, that guy just seems like a real delight. I'd like to have.
He was sober. It was us that wasn't.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think we did him justice as a guest, but we'd love
No.
to have you back, Mike. Good dude, I can just tell.
That never aired, Corey. So
I
nobody's
know
ever seen
it's
it.
deep into the
deep cuts.
the record books, the filing cabinet, if you will. Anyway, he's got the old 45-year-old 1-year contract. Smart move there. I'm going to go on a record. I think it's a fucking shit year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is where it just fucking goes disaster level status. So
Because I hate Mike Evans.
I just at some point the story has to turn, and I think this is the year it goes. So good luck. Good luck for any of those Tampa Bay Buccaneer owners. Love Ramondre Stevenson. I'm a big fan of what he's going to be doing for the next few years. We don't have to get into the Gabe Davis trade and Stevenson and Brown. Both happy with that. He's also got Rashad White. Everything happens to Fournette. I think Rashad White's the guy and can be a serviceable 3-down back. So there's a lot of upside there, and I think they sprinkle him in early in the year. I'm going to go on record and say Rashad White's going to have a better first season than James Cook. Benny Snell apparently slimmed down, but didn't do him much good because he lost his second string job to Ben's guy, Jalen Warren. McFarland's a fucking dud. Don't try to send me any offers for him. Keeney Nguanu, is he still doing the return game, Ben? Or is he replaced in Minnesota?
They're shuffling it all around. He might be inactive. So
JJ
it's
Taylor's
going to be
gone.
depending on. Well, Jalen Rager's taking the punt duty, so.
He's got not necessarily a standout RB room. He's got some young talent. And some solid. Not a lot of depth either, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, you know what? In Philly, we love the Vikings because when we have a shitty guy that we want to get rid of, we just call the Vikings and say, hey, you remember that trade with what was the name of the quarterback? I forgot his name.
Don't worry about it, Roman.
Doesn't
Take
matter.
it easy over there.
So I think Mike's strength is finding.
I have a good one for you guys. I read an article from a Philly beat writer that they're saying that Ori Roseman is trolling the league because he sent T.J. Whiteside to the Seahawks and Rager to the Vikings. This was pretty funny. You know, guys, like we took Whiteside instead of Metcalf, and we took Rager instead of
JJ.
So it's kind of.
He's not trolling the league. He's trolling himself because they made the fucking wrong decision. All right, go ahead, Corey.
So I think one of Mike's strengths is finding wide receiver talent that's not in the top 12. He's done a really good job with that. St. Brown's been a steal so far and looks to be really the number one, even with Jameson Williams there. We'll see how that progresses after Williamson comes back. He's doubled up with DJ Shark, which I don't think he's going to be all that great once Williamson comes back, but I like that. Terry Scary's going to have a good year. He's got an improvement at quarterback. I fucking hate Michael Thomas in this contract. I wouldn't, I wouldn't Bobby Brown on him if I had to, if he was on fire. Jalen Tolbert.
I don't agree with that, but
okay.
Yeah,
well,
I don't either.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think it's going to be Michael Thomas revenge tour this year.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I say Olave has a better year than Michael Thomas. How about that?
Who?
Olave?
Olave or Olave? I thought it was Olave, but
no way.
How much?
I bet by the end of the year, Olave has a better year than Michael Thomas. I think there's something up
So
with this.
most fantasy points scored this year?
I'm not betting on it. I'm just saying it's a hot take. I think Olave is going to have a better year than Michael Thomas. Yeah. Jalen Tolbert.
Sounded pretty confident. I thought we are getting a bet there.
I just don't. First of all, I wouldn't want to have him for 3 more years. And second of all, yes, he could be a top 24 receiver this year. He's never getting back to the form he was, and he's never healthy. He's never healthy.
I need to get your crystal ball, Corey.
Okay, well, it is what it is. I do love Terry McLaurin. I think he's going to have a career year. I think he has. Well,
he got a big improvement at the quarterback position.
Exactly.
I love it when Wentz is a big improvement.
Colbert seems to be a steal again with that, late first round capital. I think he's going to probably take a back seat when Gallup comes back. I don't know why people are so far down on Gallup, to be perfectly honest with you. I think George Kittle's going to struggle this year. I think he's no longer should be considered in that top 4 tier at tight end.
He's not
Mostly,
going to play Sunday.
he's not going to play the first week either. He did make a nice activation of Isaiah Likely, or did he draft him? I can't remember, but that guy could be the number 2.
He draft him.
So good move there. And nobody saw that coming because everybody was high on Charlie Warner, if I remember correctly. So good find there, Mr. Mike. Chris Jones.
Foster Moreau. Watch out.
You like him?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that take a Darren Waller injury, or
I'm going to put it on the hot take.
You think he's what?
I think it's going to be really, really good if Waller misses some game. He's a really good tight end. He has a lot of potential. I know they like him a lot there. What was the name of the former head coach?
John Gruden.
I was praising him all the time.
Yeah, I think he's a serviceable backup. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna let you guys rapid fire on the defense. Obviously, Chris Jones, stud defensive tackle. 4 defensive ends.
So I have a question. So you guys think it's a really good team, right? And I would agree with you guys. But when you have, because you guys talk about depth all the time. So when you have only 4 defensive end, and out of those 4, 2 are on the bye the same week. So if you have 1 or 2 injuries, what are you going to do?
Well, you have to start 2, right? So you're going to start whoever you are and take your lumps that week and move on. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, obviously.
I mean, don't you think a minimum at the position should be 5?
For who? For what?
I mean, I think that defensive end position, if you have 2 starters, if you have to start 2 guys every week, you need 5 guys minimum. I mean, whoever
Okay,
doesn't have.
fair enough, but MFL's robbing us of all our fucking DNs.
That's part of it.
I mean, I like that. I agree, but
you're
like,
going to be thin somewhere.
Oh yeah, okay. Hold on. Okay, so let's look at his linebackers and how many of his linebackers got moved to where DN before the season and just moved to linebacker.
I'm just saying the free
Anzalone,
agency
no.
was shit.
Bentley, no. Gay, no. Holcomb, no. Smith, no. Tranquil, no. Van Der Esch, no. They all were linebackers.
I'm not saying he got screwed in a fucking changeover. I'm saying the league has less DNs. To say everyone that can have 5 is just ridiculous. You can't. Everyone can't have 5.
I have 3. It's like you just hope that you get. I mean, you're going to be thin at one position or the other, right? You can't have depth at every single position.
There's just not enough DNs because MFL thinks everyone's a linebacker.
So I guess if I'm saying it, I'd rather have the buys in 1 week and just take the L on that week and move on and be strong the rest of the weeks. I mean, like that's kind of, I don't know. Could you move guys from where then? Where would you move guys from? Like,
okay, so
I think he's got 4 starters though.
Yeah, 4 starters.
Or like 4 guys on DN.
That are.
Can I give a rule of thumb, like something that I've been doing, and I'm not saying it's good, but it's been working. Like when you have 2 starters, if you have to start 2 defensive end, I really think you need to double the numbers. So get 4 plus 1, so 5. If you have, you need to start 3 linebackers, you need 6 plus 1, 7. But Roman, I mean, if you want to start 4, if you're gonna go 4 linebackers every week, then you need 9. But Roman, does that make sense?
Blindly without looking at your team.
In blue chip, it's not realistic to just stick to that type of strategy. In 16 teams, sure, I agree. In this, no fucking way, man. You got to take what you can get. I don't think you can just say cut and dry.
Well, if we're applying that logic, and I'm not even going to look at your team. I know right now that you have more than 9 wide receivers and you have 11 linebackers. So you're thin somewhere.
Well, we're not talking about my team. I'm just talking about it's a rule of thumb, like something that I advise people to do. Like you don't go 4 defensive end and 9 linebackers. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. No, I mean, I think what you're saying is if Penn State is considered to have an upper division team league, you're calling out that he doesn't have as much depth in some spots. And if there's injuries or something, he's going to be thin, which I think we all agree that if injuries occur and or something that is out of your control happens and you don't have depth, it's going to be a problem, right? I mean, is that what we're saying? And maybe he could move one of these linebackers and get a DN for it.
His
Yeah.
linebackers.
I mean,
And I mean,
you
and
can't
then
start
just,
all all the linebackers, is what Roman's
I
saying.
mean,
So maybe,
and yeah, I mean, I would rather like to have another DN that picking up Fulgham that he just picked up, who was being cut by 3 teams, and he's on Packers practice squad.
right?
Are there
It-
DNs on the waiver to pick up?
There is.
I don't know, or anything else that you can move for a DN. Can you move Fulgham for a DN?
No,
Exactly.
unless he gets signed. No.
Maybe you can move Blankenship for a DN.
Well, yeah.
Let's move on to the next team.
Well, let's sum this up. I think his
so much nonsense.
safeties are strong. I think he's got a solid team from top to bottom. I don't think he's as strong at running back or wide receiver. Well, he's actually okay at wide receiver. I think he's got a solid team. I would gladly.
I don't want to play him.
I wouldn't want to play him. I think he's a strong manager, has a plan, and he's going to get points and compete every week. So top half of the division, probably top third of the league, if you ask me. All right, the last one for this division. No, 2 more. Fuck. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of this today, bud. Our buds. I got shit to do.
You guys are ones yapping about fucking nonsense.
I won't say goddamn word this whole one. Go ahead.
Okay, this one's pretty easy. He's got 2 running backs that need to stay healthy the whole way. CJ Ham's a fullback. That's pretty dire. If you catch him on a bye week, you're getting a nice 0 out of it. If he gets an injury, I don't know what he's going to do. Chargers quarterbacks at the top, so that's good there. And it is wide receivers. I mean, he's got your boy Bobby Trees, but after that, he's got a bunch of guys who will score points, but not elitist. Corey Davis will get some. Galladay will get some. Maybe early Isabella will get some because of Rondale Moore not looking like he pulled that hammy. So, and McKenzie will get some. So average wide receiver core, but not a panic situation. His DNs or his tight ends, pretty dire. I don't think Brait is going to be that involved, especially with Rudolph there. I think it's just going to be chopped up and kind of gross, but yeah, he picked up Tanner Hudson, which something weird happened. I was trying to pick him up, but I think I didn't have enough spots or something, but he's the only backup to Bellinger, which I thought was interesting. So that could work out there. And Sheldon Rankins is at the tops. He's going to beast. So set it, forget it. Moving on to DN.
His best offensive player could be the Bears punter. Just
it's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. His DNs, it's got Charles Harris and Brian Burns. So those starters are fine. And then everyone else, Graham will get points, and that might be it. Maybe Ben Benadil. But
Flowers got signed by Miami, right?
Yeah, but he's not going to play that much. I just think he's a depth piece, so it is what it is. And then the linebackers is a lot, and you need something to work out there. It could, I think Austin Calitro that he just got in this is a starter as of now. After that Blake Martinez drop, so maybe something there. I think Bud Dupree might even be starting now that there was an injury there. So he actually has some injuries working in his favor on that linebacking room. Otherwise, it was really bad. So it's not as bad as it looked before. And then,
but just real quick, Ben, he's got 4 linebackers that were picked up this year in the blind waivers, right? So that's just
correct.
An example.
And
of
one's starting, and one's going to start for him right now.
And filled a roster spot with being active, right? So kudos.
Correct. Again, an example of a roster that is much better today because he wrote a couple waiver wires and went and got guys that he wanted. Like I said, even Tanner Hudson might be a guy he's starting for him. He got him for $1 in the fucking this last run. It's got 2 good, kind of 3 actually, safeties, and then the cornerbacks. I don't know if any of those guys are starting off the top of my head, but who knows? Cornerbacks tough. So I think he's fine there. I just think he's so shallow. He's a couple injuries away from a really fucking tough situation. If he loses one of his starting DNs, loses a starting running back, he's gonna have to really start making some trades.
Yeah, well, he's very active, so
Yeah,
not too worried.
he will, but I think he's depending on some concentrated, you can see what the strategy is. 3 strategies, 3 cornerbacks, 3 running backs, 2 D tackles, keeping it thin at some spots to take a lot of darts at some other spots, specifically DN linebacker. And, look, those strategies can work out. Like, you have to get value somewhere. You have to get cheap guys out of the thin air in this fucking league. So I think he's got a good team, but it can go either way based on how the luck goes.
I would say he has a good team, but it's not like scary. It's just not it's
No.
not one that you're like afraid to play because things could go very right for him or they could go very wrong. Like I would say that the Chargers quarterback position is to me. I think Herbert has a chance to be fucking MVP and have just an amazing season. So you could see a 50 touchdown season out of him. So if you're starting with 35, 40 points with your quarterback, that's a pretty good start. Where do you think he is? Top half, bottom half?
He's probably the 4 or 5 right there. This division's pretty weak, so I'd have to actually go back and remember. But it seems like a lot of the bad teams are in this division.
Yeah, so you'd have to say that Penn, Sin City, Wolfpack. We haven't looked at KC Mean Machine yet.
Yeah, let's look at them because this is not going to be something that we're going to praise either. Okay, so Eagles, Hurts, I like that. I think Hurts is going to have a monster year this year. That's fantasy wise. I don't know how everything else. And then outside of Himes, he really needs Jerick McKinnon to like become something, or else this is a fucking real problem here. A lot of FAs. He just got wrecked, taking some gambles on guys, and it didn't work out. So we know how it goes, but running back room is brutal. And then where is starters outside of Landry? Like, where are we getting value here or starting snaps from anyone? This is one of the worst offenses that we've probably seen in general. Even Hines is a backup, so we're like, there's no top here, right? Dalton Schultz is his best player on offense outside of his quarterback. That's pretty dire. Okay, so I think KC Machine, we can go down and look at his defense. We're just going to see this guy is clearly rebuilding or at the end of it. He could have some stuff work out, but I just don't see it happening.
I could see Hines. I could see Hines being a top 36 or top even 30 running back this year. Just
okay, cool. What do you see Jerick McKinnon being? That's his only other option.
Yeah, no, it's weak, but
dude, it's bad. Okay, and you're talking about a best case scenario with Hines. So
right.
I could see it, but I don't see that offense taking him anywhere. And his defense does not have anything to carry him through. His defensive ends are going to be rotational guys at best. And his D tackles aren't good either. Like, man, I'm telling you, like, this is not a team that's going to score points. So this is like not even just bottom of this division. This is bottom of the league team. Might be one of the worst we've seen. He does have Devin White. He does have a couple pieces. Randy Gregory is a fucking linebacker who is not a linebacker. He's a fucking D end. Anyways, maybe that's why he got screwed a little bit out of this, but tough stuff. I mean, Quincy Williams probably gets some
tackle, right? Too.
I think so, but again, like, it doesn't matter. What's the flip do? It's a few points here, a few points there. It's not like we're not talking stud changes like a Daniil Hunter or anything like that. Outside of, Randy Gregory is going to start at the end. Whatever.
He's got some solid safeties.
Okay, cool. A poop sandwich.
Safety's pretty solid
with a pickle in it. All right. Poop sandwich with a pickle in it. That's what this fucking roster is.
Boy, what did Greg Mills do to Jesus to fucking light him up?
Am I wrong? What is it? What do you like about this roster for now and for the future? What do you like on this roster?
There's nothing in this team that excites me or makes me. If I was I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I hate to be harsh, but it's just real.
There just isn't anything that has a lot of optimism in it.
I wonder if this is one of George's teams where he dumps all the bad contracts.
It's like his.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next team.
His farm team.
Yeah, so
Ouch.
again, with
Sorry, KC Mean Machine. You just obviously got voted worst team in the league. So,
in
but
the
I would
worst
Well,
actually
division,
to
in
be
in the
the
worst
fair,
division.
in the division, and I would actually put the Riv in there just because he ain't
to
doing
be fair,
shit.
he has accomplished something that none of us has done before. So
Yeah, and that could be part of it. It could be right, like you won the
it's
league, and now
a Super Bowl hangover.
I
It's the
hope he has
Rams.
a lot of draft.
I haven't
picks.
looked at his draft capital. He probably has a shitload of picks next year.
I hope
I
so.
would guess.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's not very exciting.
But that's clearly the worst division. And we haven't even done the last one. There's no way any other division is as bad as this one.
Ouch.
It is so up for grabs as far as Penn's above and beyond better than any other team with maybe Bad Boys right behind them.
I like
and then
Bad
it-
Boys in
it-
Sin City. I mean,
I think Cincinnati's got some real problems with that roster. So like and Baltimore, I could see Baltimore getting in the mix, and our boy Bauer, he needs a lot of help, but he get in there. But I think it's pretty open.
yeah.
Just
So
out of
it's really
curiosity-
it's really kind of right here is the top 4 or 5, and then down here is kind of
Just out of curiosity, would you guys pick for to win our division?
I picked Mando, and Corey picked Georgia.
No,
Okay.
I think Ben's right. I think originally I thought it was Georgia, but to me it's Mandy, and then Georgia would be the second, and then
I pick Mandy too.
and then Ben kind of is up there. I think I'm middle of the road. I think then it starts to fall. Like Highland and me are middle of the road. Wayne is starting to get towards the bottom. Teal and Morton, and I mean Morton. Who was it? Yeah, Morton, Wayne were kind of the bottom.
It's
two.
on the other game tape, baby. They can go
Yeah.
look at it. All right, is that it for that league?
That's it. That's it. We got
All right.
one more to fire through. Do you guys want to take the first couple while I take a small break, and then and get a couple things done real quick, and then I'll catch up. I think you guys can carry.
Oh, okay. You want to just blow through? We can blow through this instead of separating it to another pod.
I was supposed to be done 10 minutes ago, so we can't separate.
Yeah,
we
I
can
mean-
just go through. Yeah.
All right, fine. But the problem is, who's clicking on these? Who's clicking on these? Are you going to be in the room?
Yeah. I'm just gonna. I gotta do a couple things on my phone. So.
Okay,
It's all
fine.
good.
Hit freshly squeezed. I'll do the whole division. I don't give a shit. Roman and I'll take it. All right, freshly squeezed. He's got the best quarterback in the league, clearly. Go Vikes.
Yeah, the best contract for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Getting that guy for $1. And he's got a lot of darts at running back, but I don't know where the points come from. There's a lot of
Damian
second and third
Pierce.
string guys here.
Damian Pierce. That's where they come from.
Corey, shut the fuck up and go do your phone shit. If you're gonna do your phone shit, don't just yell until I'm done.
Well, just don't make shit up.
Yes, he has Damian Pierce. After that, it looks pretty shitty. Maybe Miles Gaskin and Sullivan Ahmed get a carry or two. Maybe they don't. Maybe Sony
Pacheco?
Michel gets
Pacheco?
Pacheco. Okay, you crown him. You fucking crown his ass. He hasn't done shit yet. But yes, he's frisky as a third current on the depth chart. Okay, these are all third depth chart guys outside of Pierce, who's a starter. You can like them or not like them. I don't want to argue any of them because until I see them do anything, they're all a bunch of jackasses.
To be fair, when you play in blue chip, we all get excited about those third string guy. But like yesterday or 2 days ago, I almost placed a bid on Jake Kumro. Thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe he's gonna do something in that offense, and look, he didn't do anything. So yeah, like you said, you gotta spend your money on the top 2 guys, 3 guys, and then take a chance. But Pacheco might do nothing all year long. You never know.
Yeah. Okay. So now we go to wide receivers, where he is very shallow, and may have some guys who can work, but Kendrick Bourne, Marquise Callaway, and LaVisca Chenault are not sure things. They probably will all get some run and get some work. Unreliable points. Let's just call that very spiky. And then he's got Chris Godwin, who very luckily is going to start probably this week. But that could have looked, that receiving room was looking, if we did it a week ago, would have looked way worse. but it's again, no depth. It's an injury to away from being a real problem. And then Brevin Jordan, I guess, is a starter, maybe. That's kind of like a bunch of guys there.
And
then no depth there.
Borney was in the doghouse, no?
Yeah.
After he was in the
Yes.
doghouse I don't know what he did exactly, but
Yeah,
there
I
was
mean,
something
so
wrong.
to me, this offense is pretty looking maybe forward to next year. I can't tell. It's tough to compete with an offense with all positions, no depth. Where's his flex? And where's his guaranteed points? The answer is there are none, except for Damian Pierce and Chris Godwin. Everything else is a fucking doing one of these. And you could play this guy in 1 week, and he could probably score, between all three of those positions, could score 30 points, 40 points. And like, you can't win in this league when you have that kind of unpredictability. You get hot and win, but he needs a lot of shit to go right. That's just my point. So moving on, defense, Cameron Hayward face fucking the league at D tackle. It's just such a prime value. It's expensive, but who fucking cares? It's a lot of points, which is what he needs, obviously, from his offense being where it is. Corey, can you scroll down a little? Larry Ogunjobi is going to be frisky this year too. He's taking that spot that got a lot of sacks last year that Wormley had. So I think he's going to be very good this year. Is a little underrated, and him getting that D end versus the D tackle is pretty good too on that end. And then Clowney should be more than serviceable there. But after that, we have 4 free agents. So he has 2 guys who starts, no backups. Tough. Linebacker, I mean, he's got guys there. Smith, Mosley, Bostic just caught on. I don't know if he's going to get a ton of run. Nick Vigil, I think, is going to get more run than he should. Might even play 3 down. So that's a little less dire. Again, a free agent on there. So moving on, it's not great, but it's better than probably the average as far as linebackers are concerned. He's fine at corner, Admiral starters, and he is fine at safety. Chin and I think Hawkins will be good. Logan Ryan, I thought Logan Ryan got cut. Did they sign him back again? That's weird. I know he didn't win the starting job, but it looked like he was going to be the starting safety, but we'll have to see with that. But top to bottom, this is a tough roster. I don't see it being in the top 4. I definitely see it being in the bottom 4. And unless some really good things go his way, I don't see him competing for the playoffs. What about you, Ramon?
I don't either.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
No.
Next team, Corey.
Great job, boys. Going on to Lazy Bears.
The Lazy Bears, one of my favorite people, because he changed his team name based off of a reaction from one of our podcasts, where I called him lazy for not filling his taxi squad. Corey, let's go see his taxi squad. Hey, he's got a couple guys. He had 0 guys last time. That's why I called him lazy. He even had some guys, I think they got activated, and he even activated some guys. I'm proud of you. Lazy Bears, getting off that lazy train, being a little more active with your taxi squad. That's the last I'll talk about that. Okay, so he's got the Baker Mayfield show, which is dicey, but it's $2, whatever. Saquon Barkley and Breece Hall is a nice 1-2 punch, as long as Hall can grab some of that workload and Barkley doesn't get hurt. Brandon Bolden is, I think, going to be a weird gadget player, so I wouldn't count him out, especially with it being Drake getting cut and it being Josh McDaniels there. He likes those gadget guys because he's going to need that to happen to have any depth at that position. Gotten Metcalf, who took a hit with quarterback play, but should be fine. Garrett Wilson, who was a favorite of mine, doesn't look like he's going to be an immediate impact guy, but I do like the long-term outlook for him. And then after that, Josh Reynolds will get run. So that's probably his main 3 guys. And then it's FA, 5 FAs.
Look out for Cole Beasley. He's coming on the outside, Cole. He's going to try to slingshot past you.
8 FAs between the running back and wide receiver position. Let's move on to tight end. OJ Howard, Captain, keep getting cut, and I'm on Houston now. Maybe he's a guy, but that's probably the best place he could have gone. But it looks like he's getting thrown out like a dirty rag. So Robert Tonyan is his guy, but like, he's not getting a second starter out of this lineup. So it is pretty beat. That's a tough offense. No depth. Say goodnight, Gracie. Is everyone this bad in this division? Maybe this is the worst division. Top 2 are really hurting. Okay, so D tackles, they're going to be gamble guys. Nobody's a super beast, but I think Unitas probably can be good this year. D end, Roman says, you don't have 5, you suck ass. And
Well, I actually like 3 out of 4. Tillery, Willis,
Tillery,
and Phillips.
Tiller got moved to D tackle, D end, which is a rarity. Normally he's a D tackle. Yeah, I agree, Roman. So he's going to score some points there. The linebacker room it's tough, man. Joe Schobert almost got some value there. Kenneth Murray is trash. I mean, he's starting, but he's not going to play a lot, and he's going to be fucking done by the end of this year. He's not good at football. I like Channing Tindall, but he's not a starter yet. He's probably a next year guy. So linebacking room has some work. You like Sean Bradley there, Roman?
No, he's a special team player.
Oh, then that linebacking room's pretty tough. Cornerbacks, okay, not dire, and then he's got Odom and Derwin James, which are good. Elliott, yeah, so he's good there. That's where his flex is going.
Yeah, he's good at safety, I think.
Landon Collins is a free agent. Okay,
For
Corey. Probably for the if he's not picked up yet. The Eagles could have used him if he was still good.
True.
Vito. So this might be our first team that isn't total trash of this division. Buffalo Bills. We saw how many points he hung on with that last 40 points. A 40 burger. Do you like a 40 burger from the quarterback, Roman?
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Chase Edmonds, I was probably too down on. I think he's going to actually be a lot better than I thought. And pairing him with Austin Eckler, it's a pretty good 1-2 combo.
Oh yeah, I have a question for you. Who do you think is a starter for Miami, if there is one?
It's Chase, and I think he's got a huge stranglehold on it. I don't think Mostert's going to be a guy.
Okay.
That's my opinion on a situation I hate, right? But I think Chase Edmonds is going to be worth owning and starting in all leagues. And so, but Tony Jones, I think you and I like Tony Jones, but he's going to need something to happen for him to get. And Jared Patterson got cut. So got cut with Brian Robinson getting shot. So that's pretty tough. And then wide receivers, I like Ayuk this year a lot, man. Robbie Anderson. Corey doesn't think he's the number 2. Okay, whatever. He is. Yeah, Corey's not here. Corey, shut up. Robbie Anderson's the number 2. Travolta's number 3. Quit talking about Marshall. He's trash. Tyreek Hill and I don't know, Tyquan Thornton hit the IR, so we're not going to know if he's going to produce until probably next year, I would say. But I like Ayuk, Robbie Anderson, Tyreek Hill, don't you, Roman?
I do too.
But not much depth after that, huh?
No, but it's
those
very
3
solid.
guys.
Yeah.
And it sucks to see teams, and it happens a lot in this league because it's the way things go. But if you have no depth at running back and no depth at wide receiver, where's that flex coming from? And the answer is not the tight end position, because Harrison Bryant is the only guy with the team, and I don't even know if that guy's getting snaps. So, I mean, he might. But this is a situation where you're not only super top heavy, paying $400 to Austin Eckler, you have no flex. There's a 0 in the flex right now, right? He's playing probably, I don't know. Desmond
it-
Patton or Jeff Smith and hoping they get a special teams tackle. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough for a team in this current situation like this. We haven't even gotten injuries. It's 2 injuries away of just taking zeros all over the place. And these are the type of teams that if you play late in the season and they're hurt, right? Like you could be getting free wins. That's why this
Exactly.
league gets unpredictable. Because if you
I
get to
agree.
play this guy, if you get to play, and this is Beto, man, it's fucking Beto. I'm sorry, Beto. I hate to beat you up, bro. I love you, but man, who's your flex? Are you playing me weeks 8? I hope so. Anyway, so let's see if the defense gets any better. Man, Roman, do you know if any of these guys got starting jobs?
Defensive tackle.
None of them,
No.
right? So they're all
No.
rotational guys. Malik Collins doesn't, I don't think. So that's pretty tough. They're all cheap. He's not spending any money at the position, so he's just hoping one can hit. We'll see what happens. I don't think it'll be very good, but it is what it is. And then D end, Leonard Williams, maybe a little Devontae Fowler. Hopefully Devin Wyatt can get that rotation in, but that's pretty tough as well, right?
It's pretty thin.
Pretty thin. Guess what else is thin? Linebacker. Brandon
Wow.
Browning didn't really grab much of a role. Avery got cut, and I think he's got Pratt, Edmonds, who's on the way out probably next year. With
Wonum is a defensive end, no?
Wanham is he's an outside linebacker behind
Like
Zadarius
enter?
Smith. Yeah, so he should be a DN because he's going to be exclusively rushing the passer. But I digress. And then he's okay. We go Deontay Jackson and Russell Douglas are good corners, so no problem there. And then he's got Eric Rowe lost that for starting job, but he rotates a little. Terrell Edmonds is good. I thought
He's fine.
Vito's team was better than this. And I expected to maybe see some IR guys, but he just doesn't have as good a team this year, does he?
No, he does not.
I really thought we were going to say this team was good, but
Yeah,
guess what?
he's
We've reviewed 3 teams, and I would say they're all in the bottom 4, and we haven't even seen the other 5. Vito's got good players, but man, that depth is a problem, right, Roman?
Yes, I agree.
So he's got some trades to make. All right, Scottsdale. What do we got here, Roman? Dak, the Dak show. Are you a believer in
Pollard.
Dak this year as an Eagles fan?
Yes, I do. I mean,
Yeah. All right.
yeah, I think Dak is gonna be top 10 for sure.
Right on. I like Devonta Foreman's landing spot in Carolina because I thought he was really good backing up Henry. And we'll find out if McCaffrey was unlucky or if he's injury prone this year. I don't have an opinion on that yet. I wouldn't call him injury prone or not, but that's a good backup to have of any backup, in my opinion.
Yes.
Tony Pollard also is,
Pollard.
he's not a backup. He's like a co-starter, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's it. Little thin. Chris Evans and Trevon Williams might get some snaps between one of those guys, depending on who comes up, right? But
yeah, I think it's pretty decent team on offense. I know.
Yeah, I like. I think Marvin Jones is one of those guys that everyone just thinks always sucks every year, and he always ends up like having stats.
Yeah. Also, he has 2 good tight ends.
Yeah,
I mean,
Chris Meir. Well, like Alec Pierce has to come up a little bit.
His
First
offense
days in line
fucking
for
blows.
Jones.
Let's be honest. Compared to the top half teams, his offense is not that good.
What top half teams? Have you seen the last 3 teams we did?
Maybe
Corey?
in this division.
Okay, fair enough. But in this division, this is a better offense than the last 3 teams we looked at.
Yeah, no, and I've been looking at his team. I think Buckner at defensive tackle, Davenport defensive end,
Buckner's
Akwe.
tops.
It's
Buckner's tops,
Ration
yeah.
Evans. I think he has good players.
He has
James
good
Smith
players.
Williams while Young is out.
Yeah, his offense isn't top heavy. I mean, I wouldn't say his offense blows.
I
It's
didn't
not
think
top
overall
heavy.
it's a pretty well balanced team with
We
depth.
can't critique his defense because Corey's, checked out and can't scroll down.
I'm making my friend's bed, dude. I'm trying to be a good host. Sorry.
Okay.
So I like his defense a
I do
lot
too.
actually.
Rashad Evans is going to be good. Chad Mumov in the future. He might
Arden
even get a lot
Key.
of run this one. He's got
Arden
Isaiah
Key.
Simmons. Yep.
As a sack upside every week.
And too many cornerbacks for my liking. Do you like having this many cornerbacks?
No, I don't. But I mean, I rather like to have a 8 cornerback rostered than free agents are never gonna start for my team.
You know what? I will agree. I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Nick Cross, I think, is going to be between him and Brisker on the best safety of this class for this year, at least. Nick Cross won that strong safety job that Kari Willis had, right?
Yeah.
Tons of potential.
Nick Cross,
lots
he
of
is a stud.
lots of box snaps. He's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
Kyle Duggar is going to be good again this year, and Manika Fitzpatrick. So what I do like about his team is he's starting those 3 safeties and forget about it, right? Like, so that means all the other positions, he only needs 2. Good defense.
Like those 3 safety did 30 points a week.
Yeah, he's got an average offense. I wouldn't, it's not blowing the roof off, but he's got guys to rotate in there. It's not terrible. He's going to probably start 2 tight ends, right? With the Henry.
Well, I think so far it's to me it's the best team of the division.
I agree.
Would put him
So far
ahead of Vito.
I agree, and this team isn't better than in the top of a lot of teams we've seen, but
so he has Deion Jones on IR.
On IR, yeah, 4-game IR. So he's got a good defense that could carry him with that average offense. As long as he didn't get hurt where he's shallow, I think he's gonna be fine. Next team, Corey. Amber Turd.
Let's be easy on the turd man. He's a new guy.
We're being easy on everyone, dude. We've already just eviscerated 3 teams in this division, so it can't be any worse than that. He's got the Rams quarterback though, and that looks like it's not going to be as good as we thought it was going to be. Let's hope week 1 wasn't, totally how that offense is going to look. I think better days for Matt Stafford. Travis Homer is going to get run, I think, especially if Walker's hurt for an extended period of time. Rashard Penny is going to get a lot of run early. Even if he does lose a little work to Walker later. So Darrell Henderson looks like he's going to be a lot better than we thought, huh, Roman? So Darrell Henderson, Rashard Penny with a sprinkle of Travis Homer. I don't hate the running backs. I think it could be better.
Did you guys did you get excited about Henderson last night?
No, but I would say he's definitely in this league a valuable guy to have now. They're clearly using him. And they're not going to always, yeah, right now I would, and they're not going to always play the number 1 defense in the NFL. If they go against another team that has a bottom ranked run defense, man, Henderson would have gone the fuck off with how much run he got.
He had 18 to 3 touches last night and 5 receptions. So I don't care what you say. Something's going on.
So anyway, so that his running back room looks pretty good now compared to maybe what it could have. And then he's got Keenan Allen, our boy. We always love him. And then I don't know, Jacoby Myers, and then what else, Roman? Will Dicey, Darius Slayton, maybe. Is St. Brown playing for you, Corey? Your wide receiver.
He's the number 3 right now, I believe.
Whoo! He's got a number 3 with St. Brown. Congratulations. And then Trent Taylor, I don't know if he's returning kicks like he always does, but he gets points, right? Punt returner, kick returner, Trent Taylor, Roman?
I don't think so.
I think that's the only way he made Cincinnati. They probably don't want Chase returning kicks.
Evans?
No, Trent Taylor.
No, I don't think he has that role this year, but I could be wrong.
I think Evans returns kick and for the Bengals.
All
Or
right,
Brandon
well then,
Wilson, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. But his value historically has been for the returning kicks where he wasn't like,
I think you
just a
draft him,
kick guy.
if I remember well.
Hmm. Wow.
You did, right,
So
Ben?
I think so. Oh, me? I drafted
Yeah.
him,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I remember you did.
that was on
It was he
Samsung
got
a long
drafted
time ago.
by the Niners, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That was a long time ago. Been in this league a while. All right. The Tyler Conklin CJ combo is pretty cool. They'll both get run, but I think Conklin's looking like he's going to be the guy. CJ's been a little banged up, but he's kind of got the one or the other, and he could probably start both in a real bind. But top to bottom, the offense is okay, but that wide receiver room is pretty tough, and we'll have to see. And defense, oh man, D tackle, I guess Bilal Nichols, he starts right at D tackle. I think his job's safe. They were looking at Saw, who might have taken his job, but I think he's good to go. And then Calais Campbell, man, hey, not great as a DN, but at a D tackle, he could put up some points. So not too bad. Everson Griffin, bless you for taking a man who is in a mental institution, but I don't think that was a wise move. He is definitely not playing football again. You can use that roster spot, sir. I promise you. Jerry Hughes, rotational guy. Mario Addison, rotational guy. Not a lot of guaranteed points there. I mean, you should be good, yeah. And then another thin linebacker room with a free agent, Roman. So he's got to have Floyd and Gifford, who doesn't get run, and Jordan Hicks. So that's bad. That's a bad situation with that linebacker room.
Yeah, actually,
got good corners. Got 3 great corners, 3 top corners.
He got a pretty decent start last night, which is why I think we need to be cautious. It's the first game.
Is Epps starting for you guys for sure, Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So that's a good turn for his roster because the other guys I don't.
And not only he's going to start, but he's unproven, but he has been the best player at the Eagles camp on defense so far.
All in all, we've seen 4 teams. This is the second best team, and I don't even understand how that's possible.
Good job, Amber Turd.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why didn't we get this? Why didn't our division is brutal?
We saw 5 teams, but
let's see what Moose got to offer. We know it's going to be a solid team.
Moose is going to get a free roll in this league, unless the next 3 are really good. Pittsburgh quarterback is going to be what it is.
I mean, yes, 3 starting running back, Gibson.
Yep.
Sanders and Mustard. That I think you might gonna sit him this week.
They're not. Yeah, Mostard's not a starting running back, but he's definitely going to get run. Joshua Kelly won the backup over Spiller, so he's all right. Yeah. AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, and Christian Kirk right there. That's like basically as good as it gets in this league.
Yeah.
And then Jason gave him Rashard Higgins for free for some reason, who might somehow get run.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh. Good starting.
He doesn't want to give those. He doesn't want to give those guys to his friends. Just goes and throws them everywhere else. That would have been collusion anyways. Amari Rodgers. I'm going to keep saying it. Everyone sucks in Green Bay until they're good. They're all equally shitty in my eyes.
No, I was saying about the collusion thing, buddy. That's all.
Oh yeah. CJ
Hawkinson. Did you put Romeo Doubs or whatever his name is in the same bag?
Yeah, they're all shit. They're all shit until I see them in an NFL game, Ramon. They're all the best. They're all the worst. Every one of them are amazing. And the next fucking Devontae Adams until they're not, including Lazard. Fuck them all until I watch tape. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to sit here and count out Amari Rodgers, who was really good at Clemson and a high draft pick who's been hurt this whole time, and just say he's not going to have a chance because what? Sammy Watkins or fucking some rookie had a good camp. Like I can't. You can't
hit-
predict that until we see game tape.
The hit rate on
Hmm.
trying to get these Tyreek Hill, small, kind of stocky wide receivers that are explosive has not been good thus far. So
No.
whatever people are trying to do to duplicate that has been a failure. I'd rather have. Would you rather have Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson right now?
I mean, I'd probably rather have Dobbs, but like again, it's just what if I'm like being a hypocrite. Like I haven't seen shit. I just like
Yeah.
from beat
No,
writers.
it's hard. It's
Sure.
hard. You know, it's hard
But
to
just
say.
what happens if Christian Watson is the guy? Like we don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers will make somebody a fucking hero. We don't know who that hero is going to be.
Yeah, I could disagree.
He does every year, man. There's never a year where he just distributes the ball. Somebody's going to get the trust. Somebody's going to get the bulk.
All right, we got 20 minutes. I got to cut it.
Okay. No, we're almost done. Don't worry. So his defense, Roman, what's your favorite part of his defense? Like he's got Trey Hendrickson, who's pretty beast. Winovich is.
Ernest Jones had a good.
bet.
He had a
Ernest
good.
Jones.
Ernest
looked good
Jones
last
got a
night.
lot more run. Got a lot more
a
run
good-
than I thought.
He had a
was
good game
gonna.
last night. Yeah.
Very good game. Even
I mean-
Terrell Lewis got a sack. I mean, I don't know if he started him, but
He's got Jordan Brooks.
Jordan
Jordan
pretty
Brooks
solid.
and Demario Davis are both top.
He's got Devin Lloyd. I like his defense. I
Yeah.
do. I think he's got a
His
Well,
linebacking room is solid.
He has invested top picks on the defense. Remember the trade for Jordan Brooks?
Yeah. Well, he has
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson too. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got a solid core. He's got 2 strong safeties.
Yeah, cornerbacks great, and safety he only has one. Malik Hooker doesn't play, and he's got a free agent, and he's got the Honey Badger, so he's taking a 0, and 1 week he's taking 2 zeros.
Oh, I thought Malik Hooker played. My fault. I thought he was serviceable.
I mean, we can ask Bauer. But I'm pretty sure he does not play.
With his curse and with the other one.
Wilson. Donovan Wilson,
Wilson.
right?
No, you're thinking of.
I don't think so.
Oh,
thinking of-
we're on 4 hours here, so I'm probably just.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the next team. Top to
Definitely the
bottom,
best
Ro-
team in the division. Would we say thus far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some holes in on defense, but he doesn't have holes anywhere else, and that's
Yeah, I mean he's got
Pretty good.
some star power. He's got a solid lineup from top to bottom. I mean,
it's the best team so far. He's
in this
number one so
division,
far in the division.
he's number one as thus far. But in the last division, he would be in the middle of the pack, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
You know, when you have Booby Mice and AJ Brown on your team, you're gonna be good.
Look out for Booby this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
Come on, you've been cheating on Booby all
Hey
the
man,
season.
it's the stock market, man, baby. Like I would buy some Booby stock right now. I would buy some Booby stock.
Come on.
Christ almighty, we have gone 4 hours.
You told me about it.
2 more. Let's go. 5 minutes.
All right. Zeke, Walker. Walker's going to be banged up a little bit so I don't know. He's definitely going to get enough run to make it not that dire, but free agent. Dwayne Washington, maybe some special teams work, kicking duties. I haven't seen that, but that's tough. Again, I hate it when you only have 2 options and nothing to rotate in without a prayer of points. So better hope for no injury.
Ish.
Awful. This division has no talent. Sorry, guys. Oh man. Holy hell. Okay, so Gunner is probably the most guaranteed points of his wide receiver.
Yeah,
True.
AJ Green.
probably. Yeah, AJ Green.
Gunner is punt returner, kick returner, and he was playing like as the 4 or 3
Yeah.
in the
It's bad.
4, excuse me.
It's bad.
But that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah,
gonna
but
get probably the
he's a
most-
new guy and he had all the cap. You know, it was his first auction.
Yeah.
I think you gotta put that on perspective. You know, he didn't have a lot of draft picks.
It's
We'll
tough.
see.
It's tough.
his first year.
We've all been there.
It takes a while to rebuild in this league, and we forgive you all. I just don't understand how everyone rebuilding is in the top fucking division.
Everybody needs to remember we're looking at these teams on the fly. We're not. Nothing's personal. It's just your instant reaction for the most part, and there's probably more thought that goes into some of it too. So don't take it personally.
And more importantly, we're
this
not
team
looking at draft.
Sucks
We're
bad.
not looking at draft capital,
Yeah.
which is very, very relevant.
Big
So
portion
we're
of
just.
it.
This is just this year, guys. If you have shit tons of picks for next year, congratulations, you're doing what you want to do. Hunter Henry, he's gonna be probably the best piece of the pass catchers there. All right.
He has Quay
And
Walker. He's got Quiddy Pay, some young talent there.
Vita
Henry-
Vea, Dalvin Thompson, good.
Henry, you see him any good this year? Hunter Henry?
I think he'll be
We'll
fine.
see.
I think he'll be better
good.
this year than last
Right.
year.
But linebackers, he's got old Shaquille. Can't call him Darius anymore.
Well, he's out
Quay
for week
Walker.
1, by the way.
Yeah, they confirmed it, right? Okay.
He's got
And then he's got some rookies and some draft capital and some upside, but all in all, this is a real rebuilding process. He's in the bottom 4, and we might have to go review who's fucking 4th. That's how bad this is.
I don't know, like, what's the motivation of taking Ezekiel Elliott with 372 there instead of spreading out and signing people? I don't know. I mean, like, to me, if I'm rebuilding this team, I'm probably not signing Ezekiel Elliott in the first year, unless you think you can get a first rounder or something back, a second rounder for him back. But I would have probably liked to seen that money spread out into 3 or 4 or 5 different players that you could sign for a couple year, 3-year contracts. But I don't know. It's tough to say.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
No harm, no foul.
Good job, Milkman. At least you're
Good luck
active in the
next year.
league. He's active in the league, and he seems like a good gentleman. So we like that.
Yeah.
Come on,
We
come
love
on
you
the
as a
pod,
human.
buddy. Come on the pod. I think you're going to be a good long-term player in this league. Last one, Wyoming Bison. Hour 4.
Pretty good riders. That's good running backs right there.
Hell
They
yeah.
stay healthy. That's a problem.
2 studs.
Yeah, Ray looks like he's gonna have
McLeod.
like sneaky value this year because he's kicker,
Yes.
kick returner, punt returner, and he's been super involved in that offense. And Shanahan talks that he wants him as a wide receiver. So
Ooh,
I
Mike
think,
Williams going into the pool
Ray
next year,
McLeod,
boys.
Corey, Ray McLeod is this year's Braxton Berrios. Book it. I would bet that-
Braxton Berrios is this year's freaking Hunter Renfro. Then how about that?
no, Braxton Berrios is this year's Beasley, who doesn't have. a
Moving
team.
on. Pettis is going to get some clock. Mike Williams going to
Mike
be
Williams is
a top 10 wide receiver this year. I think he's
Nicole
gonna supplant-
Hardman is being completely disrespected by everyone at the bottoms. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he not only was slotted into the Tyreek Hill role, but also used like they've been using him all these years, which wasn't terrible. So it's funny how they lost wide receiver talent, and it's just like, oh, well, it can't be McCole Hardman. I like McCole Hardman this year. So anyways.
I think he's got a good starting offense, at least. I mean, obviously, he's got 2 studs at running back, not a lot of depth, and then he's got 4 or 5.
Yeah,
studs
if
at
Waller's
wide
hurt
receivers.
for extended period, is he playing this week? He was hurt, right?
I think it's more of he was holding out
It's a
till he got an
contract thing,
agent
right?
contract stuff. He'll be in this week, and he's gonna.
So
have
he's
a good
fine.
year.
That's a good offense, man. That's a really explosive, scary offense right there.
Sure is.
And defense, I don't know about his D tackles. But he's got the face fucker of the year, Von Miller. Now, what I say? Don't fuck with
Wait.
Von Miller at that DN position, man. And then
Yeah,
Miles
Mike-
Garrett. Oof, that's really good. That's a good one too. The rest are not much of anything.
Patrick Quinn.
Okereke is going to be amazing, especially for the time as Leonard isn't playing. Patrick Queen sucks, but by default, he's going to get play. I don't like him long term, but he's on his last year of his deal, so who cares? After that, it is what it is. And good safeties.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah, Jesse Bates, no problem. So this is a pretty tough team to deal with. It's him and Moose at the top 2 right now, and
Yes.
I'm gonna give the nod to Bison.
I'm going to give the nod to Moose. I think he has more depth and complete roster, but it's close.
Who you like, Lamont? So far?
Bison.
Okay.
All right. And
It's
then we're going to
close.
say the other 6 teams are all shit and they shouldn't even be allowed to.
Well, no, we have one more to go, right? Or was that the last
No,
one?
no, we're done.
That's it.
Holy shit.
We fired.
It's like the
go.
last 6 teams are duking it out for who doesn't have the
a lot of
the
dookie in that
worst
league.
4 teams in the league might come from that division.
All right, real quickly. I know this is the last thing we're going to do. Who is this year's blue chip champion, all leagues, and who is the turd of the league?
Oh, Wayne is a third.
Wow, we had him fourth or fifth or sixth in our division. So.
Wayne's team is good, dude. You got to chill out with that.
But being personal.
Okay.
Wayne's team is not as bad as some of the teams we've seen, but yeah, okay.
Wayne would be third in that division without a doubt. That top
Yeah.
division we just reviewed, Wayne.
No, I mean, okay, so.
All right,
Sorry,
so
Wayne, you got a bad
who
break.
do you got, Ben?
But it depends if we're talking about the team that are competing or team that are rebuilding. Of course, the Packers is
We
not
can't talk-
competing. He's
We're
not
just
competing.
talking
talk
this
that much
year's
about that.
losing
We're
team.
talking
and
this year.
year's
Otherwise, we
winning
have to
team.
look at draft capital.
Yeah, all
We're
we're
not
looking
looking
at
at
is who's
draft
going to
capital.
finish worse and who's going to finish best.
We have mentioned if a team looks like they're set up well long-term, right? As an appreciation for the team, but it's not really in the scoring.
I'm
So-
gonna go on a limb and say this is Mando's championship
Oh,
run
you
this year.
motherfucker.
I think he's got the best overall team. I'll say Fleece City is up there as well, and I'll give Georgia Warhouse a little bit of credit. And then it's there's some other standards.
So
up
you
there.
picked 3 teams for the championship. Way to go.
I'm sorry. And then I'm going to say, because you guys weren't doing it, isn't John Candy? I'm rooting for you to finish dead last in the Riv is my weak spots. So those are my 3 and 2. Go ahead, Ben.
3 and 2. Where the fuck did
My
3 and
3
2?
winners and my 2 losers. That's it.
All right. I'm just going to pick one winner.
There you
Who I
go.
think is going to take out the league. And I was going to say Mandy, but I don't. Can you scroll up? Who the hell else is? I need. To
I think
just
that's pretty
refresh my
fair though,
memory.
Ben. Take the one.
Yeah, I can't take. I'll take Penn State.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good.
I'll
that's a
take
good-
Penn State to win the league. I think that's a solid rounded roster. We reviewed it. I think there's tops of that division. Only reason I'm not like Mandy, it was my pick before you picked him. But man, now that we reviewed it, and not to toot our horns for being in it, but this fucking division is a problem.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good teams in the division. Like Corey, your
It's just-
team would be tops in some of these other divisions.
It's just not.
I'm just saying.
It's solid top to bottom. I mean, there's a couple of standouts, but there's no super shit teams. Is all. I mean,
Even like again, sorry,
Works,
Argo.
whatever.
We said your team was last, but the division we just reviewed, I wouldn't have put you last in that division. No way.
Yeah.
So it's like we gotta fucking and hey, Argo called it early enough to blow it up early, right? He said this division's a problem, and it looks like it's gonna be.
I mean, I don't mind being, if you guys see me last in that division. I just, like you said, I just blew up my team. So whatever happens. It's no
No,
big
but we
deal.
did
I don't
say
have, I
you're
don't,
gonna.
I
you're
don't
gonna
have
make
any
more moves than
expectations about,
anyone.
we'll see.
You're gonna make
All
more
right.
moves than anyone.
Well,
so.
hopefully the winner will come out of the Big 12. That's all we can ask for, right, boys?
We made
Yeah,
it.
I see Bison. I'm going to put my money on Bison.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Wow.
Good
Yeah.
team.
I think he's too thin at RB.
McCaffrey, Mixon.
I think
They
I
stay
think he's
healthy.
too thin enough.
He stays healthy at running back. It's a good team.
Sure is.
He's got Garrett and yeah, I like that.
All right, boys. I love you. I gotta go. This was fun. We're gonna keep this going all season long. We'll not have 4-hour ones anymore, and we'll be a lot more sharp because we won't have such long ones. But
It was
looking
2
forward
parts.
to-
It won't be that bad.
Looking forward to a recap of week 1 sometime with you, Ben, next week. Roman, it's always great seeing you, buddy. Thanks for stopping on and being an asset. And
Thanks
a
for
nice
having
asset.
me.
And a nice asset.
Yeah, thanks for coming, bud.
All right, buddy.
Peace
All right,
out.
buddies. Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too.
You too.
All right, I gotta go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
I had to go an hour ago too. So
I know
we're good.
it's too much. Bye.